It's Tuesday. It's the first day of August 2023. Your Day Weather Podcast being brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. No, this is not a repeat. I am not showing you the same podcast that I did yesterday, but it will seem like I'm showing you the same things because essentially the pattern is the same and will be the same for the next 3 days. The door really opened up late yesterday and last night to that monsoonal moisture flow, and many of you experienced shower and thunderstorm activity, and some of you experienced some very heavy rainfall with those showers and thunderstorms last night, especially eastern Wyoming, northern Colorado, and western Nebraska. The door is wide open to that moisture again today, and deep monsoonal moisture really for the next 3 days will be in place before shifting more northward by Friday and into the weekend. So the heavy rain threat continues. Now, there were a lot of areas that picked up a half to an inch and a half to nearly 2 inches of rain or more yesterday afternoon and evening and last night. Those same areas could have heavy rain today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So we are going to be concerned about flooding over the next 2 to 3 days. Cooler temperatures arrive later in the week, and by the weekend, the central and northern Rockies could be well below average temperature-wise, with a shifting high pressure back to the west, but being suppressed a bit to the south. And we'll show you that here in a moment. Lots of building thunderstorms and building clouds and nasty looking and dark looking clouds and a lot going on. A lot of the thunderstorms yesterday were driven by very, very weak winds aloft. We talked about this last week. This time of year, the jet stream winds are weak, so these thunderstorms, they can kind of meander. They can backtrack. They can go against the grain because the upper level wind patterns just aren't there to push them along like they are early in the season. So it looks like thunderstorms merge, split, go backwards. Yeah, it'll do all of those things in this type of pattern as these thunderstorms, as you notice, just kind of billow and go straight up as they grow and build, as those upper level winds are very weak, as that jet stream, at least for the time being, is well to our north. Of course, we have those big, nasty-looking clouds and then rainbows afterwards. Taking a look at the satellite photo this morning, you can see the two areas of thunderstorms that are still going on, one right now over Missouri, and this area right here of enhanced cloudiness responsible for the thunderstorms that developed in the Front Range of Colorado, Wyoming, and western Nebraska yesterday evening, then continued overnight, and then rotating around the high, going just like this, and so the pattern repeats itself as that monsoon moisture, as you can see on the satellite photo, is very pervasive across the area. Then you can see on the radar loop here, those thunderstorms, those two clusters of thunderstorms going on into the morning. They are weakening as they rotate around the high, and we just basically hit reset, and we'll just do the same thing all over again today. The high pressure ridge by noon today, right over southwest Oklahoma and Texas. Going to be very, very hot down here, as you would expect, underneath the high. But the periphery of the high, there's all of that moisture that you just saw on the satellite imagery. And it's really good to see the precipitable water map that shows you where the deeper moisture is. So what I'm going to show you is this kind of step through the days ahead. So this is today. You can see where the concentration of the deeper moisture is, especially where you get into the blue and the white. But if you're in that green, white to green to blue, you're in that deeper moisture. So this will be today. So this will be the axis of where the heavier thunderstorms are going to want to be. Flood watches are in effect for a lot of eastern Wyoming, far western Nebraska, Front Range in northeastern Colorado, and down into northern New Mexico here, as they could see some heavy rain from those showers and thunderstorms as well. So that is the area to watch out for. But I will say that you don't have to be in the green to get heavy rain at all. That monsoonal moisture is just about everywhere. So you don't have to be in the green to experience the threat of a heavy rainstorm or possible flooding. This is for noon tomorrow. It just isn't going anywhere, folks. Just these plumes of deep moisture continue to come on through. This is for Thursday. Now, as we step forward past Thursday, notice that we start to see drier air come in. So there's a break in the monsoon right here. And we've seen this all summer. You get a patch of wetness, a patch of dryness, a patch of wetness, patch of dryness, rotating around these high pressure ridges. So this is Thursday. This is Friday. We talked about this yesterday, the northward shift. So at the end of the week, northern Wyoming, Montana, then up into the Dakotas, and even back into parts of Idaho and eastern Oregon there. you're going to see some of that shower and thunderstorm going. But notice the dryness right here expanding. So the push of the monsoon goes more to the north. This is through Friday morning. So you can see where the activity wants to be. Again, this is a model. Don't take these numbers as exactly what will happen, but rather as a guide of where the showers and thunderstorms are going to want to be. And the darker, the brighter the colors, the more concentration of where those showers and storms are likely going to form. And this is by Saturday. It's all the way up near the Canadian border. A lot of times you don't see the monsoon get pushed this far north, but it is, as that push of that high really wanting to direct that moisture all the way up to the U.S.-Canadian border by the weekend. So Montana and the Dakotas, northern Wyoming back here into parts of areas east of the Cascades, going to get into shower and thunderstorm activity. Temperature-wise, really kind of a contrast. Here's the heat in Texas and Oklahoma down here. They'll be talking about that on the news. That's right underneath the high, but underneath the monsoonal moisture plume, temperatures will be cooler than normal. And as we go into the weekend, notice the high is now back into southern Arizona. It retrogrades back to the west, which is common. But I want you to notice the suppression of the jet stream now is actually wanting to push south. There's actually a little push of cooler air coming out of Canada into the northern Rockies, and that's what's going to merge with that monsoonal moisture. There's going to be kind of a bit of a collision here. That's why it's going to be wet, developing across the northern Rockies and northern plains here by late in the weekend into the upcoming weekend. And that's going to push temperatures down. Look at the temperature anomalies for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Look at that. That is quite a push of cooler air for early August. And what that will do is that will bottle up the heat into the areas that have been the hottest this summer in the far south, southwest, and along the west coast and the Pacific Northwest coast. But you get east of the Cascades, into the Rockies, then into the plains, much cooler air spills in and goes upslope. So it is, for a lot of the west, it is going to be a pretty cool weather pattern here late this week and through the upcoming weekend. And going out to 10 days from now, this is by next weekend. The high is back down here over Arizona, but this is a fairly far pushing jet stream for August 10th and 11th. So this will bottle up the heat, keeping it suppressed mainly in the far southern areas of the U.S. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.